Your cat looked at you today, maybe from across the room, maybe close enough to touch, and you felt it, that quiet warmth that comes from simply sharing space with them. But while you were feeling that, your cat was doing something else entirely. They were running a calculation you couldn't see. Safe or not safe. Worth moving closer or worth pulling away. And the answer had nothing to do with how much you love them. It had everything to do with what happened in the moments that followed. Here's what most people never find out. There are things small, ordinary, completely loving things that almost every cat owner does every single day that quietly register as threat instead of trust. Your cat doesn't protest. They don't make a sound. They just become a little more distant, a little harder to reach. And over months, over years, that distance becomes the whole relationship. It doesn't have to. Every behavior we're going to talk about today comes with a shift so small it almost feels like nothing. But to your cat, it changes everything. Number 1. Here's something almost no one tells you when you bring a cat home. That instinctive, loving, completely natural gesture of reaching out to touch them, the one you've probably done 1,000 times, might be the single thing quietly working against you. Not because touch is wrong, but because for a cat, touch without permission isn't tenderness. It's an override. Cats are not wired for unconditional, always available affection. They are autonomous creatures, deeply independent, built for environments where control over their own space meant survival. When you reach before they've signaled readiness, even gently, even with love, you're making a decision that belongs to them, and their nervous system logs it every single time. Most people miss this because the cat doesn't react visibly. No hiss, no swipe, just a barely perceptible lean away. A subtle tightening you'd only notice if you knew to look. So here's what to look for instead. A tail that lifts softly and curves gently at the tip, that's an invitation. Ears relaxed and angled slightly forward. Eyes that meet yours with that heavy-lidded softness that only appears when a cat feels completely at ease. When you see those signals, try this. Extend one finger just at nose height and stop. Don't move toward them. Just offer the choice. Watch them press their cheek forward into your hand. Watch their whole body settle. That's not just a cat accepting a pet. That's a cat making a choice. Chosen connection, earned in 5 quiet seconds, runs deeper than anything you could have reached for and taken. The bond doesn't begin with touch. It begins in the moment before, when you gave them the decision. Number 2. Stay with this one, because it challenges something almost everyone gets completely backwards. More petting is not more love. It might be the most well-meaning mistake in the entire cat-human relationship, because the wrong kind of touch, even gentle, even careful, can quietly trigger a stress response your cat has absolutely no way to communicate to you. And the place this happens most? The belly. When your cat rolls over, paws soft, stomach fully exposed, looking completely relaxed, every instinct in your body reads it as an invitation. It isn't. That position is one of the most physically vulnerable a cat can take. It means they feel safe enough around you to expose their most unprotected area. That is trust made visible. It is not a request for contact. Reaching for that belly, however slowly, however lovingly, can shatter the entire moment. They may allow it. They may even seem to enjoy it briefly. And then you'll see it, a single sharp flick of the tail, a back foot that shifts, eyes that go just slightly flat. That's not your cat being unpredictable. That's a boundary that was always there, one you didn't know how to read. This is where it changes. Instead of the belly, bring your attention to the cheeks, the chin, the base of the ears, the forehead just above the eyes. These aren't just comfortable spots. These are where scent glands live, the same glands cats use to mark what feels familiar, what feels safe, what belongs in their world. When your cat presses their cheek into your palm, they are not just receiving comfort. They are leaving something of themselves on you, claiming you, writing you into their definition of home, in the only language cats have for it, that is intimacy. Number 3. This is the one that tends to land the hardest, because it's happening every day in almost every home, and almost no one recognizes it for what it truly is. Your cat walks up, presses against your leg, moves slowly along the length of your body, and you reach down, say something warm, respond with love. And in doing exactly that, you interrupt a ritual you didn't know was happening. What looks like your cat casually passing by is something far more deliberate. Cats carry scent glands along their cheeks, the sides of their body, and the base of their tail. When they rub against you, they are not wandering. They are marking you, pressing their scent into your presence, weaving you into the fabric of what feels safe in their world. In that moment, you are being filed under mine, known, not a threat. That process has a rhythm, a beginning and an end. And the moment you move, reach down, shift your weight, or say a single word, you cut the sentence before the period. Here's what makes this harder to sit with. You've done it hundreds of times, every single time, out of love. That matters. It doesn't make you wrong, it makes you human. But your cat cannot distinguish between an interruption that's affectionate and one that feels threatening. They only experience the break. Attention given at the wrong moment can quietly cost more than attention never given at all. The adjustment is almost nothing. When your cat begins to rub against you, go completely still. No words, no lean forward, no hand reaching down, just present, just waiting. Watch their tail. If it stays gently raised and softly curved, they're in the ritual, completing it on their own terms. When they finish, they'll either move on satisfied or turn back toward you. That turn back is a genuine invitation. You didn't chase it, you created the space for it to arrive. That's the difference most people never discover. Number 4. This one will feel like doing nothing. It is, in fact, one of the most powerful things you can do. Sit near your cat. Don't reach out. Don't call them over. Don't arrange your energy toward them. Just be there. Most owners feel useless doing this, like they're missing an opportunity for connection. But consider what your cat experiences in nearly every human interaction. Someone wanting something. A gaze that lingers a beat too long. A hand moving before it's welcome. The low hum of expectation. Come here. React. Let me love you. A presence that wants absolutely nothing is genuinely rare to them. And here, rare means safe in a way they almost never get to feel. Most people miss this, sit sideways, slightly angled away. In feline body language, that posture signals non-threat. It says, I'm here, but I'm not waiting on you. Let your gaze rest softly to the side, not on them, not performing disinterest, just genuinely present without pressure. Watch what happens over days. They inch closer without being asked. They stay longer without being held. One afternoon, you'll realize they've chosen the cushion beside yours without you ever noticing the moment they decided to. The bond you've been reaching for has been waiting just on the other side of the reaching. Number 5. And this is where it gets quietly extraordinary. There is a gesture so simple, so easy to overlook, that most people would never guess it carries the weight it does. It might be the most direct conversation you'll ever have with your cat. It's called the slow blink. To a human, it looks like almost nothing. A long, deliberate close of the eyes, held for just a moment, then open again. But between cats, and between a cat and a human who understands what they're doing, a slow blink is one of the most significant things one creature can offer another. It means, I see you. I am not a threat. I trust you enough, right now, to close my eyes. Think about what that means for an animal wired entirely around survival, to voluntarily go dark, to lower the one defense that matters most. That is not a casual gesture, that is a declaration. Here's how to use it. Find your cat when they're relaxed resting, watching you from across the room, simply present. Make soft eye contact, not a stare, not a performance, just a quiet, genuine gaze. Then slowly close your eyes, hold for the length of a breath, and open again. And wait. Many cats will return it. Sometimes immediately. Sometimes after a few seconds of quiet consideration. A slow, deliberate blink sent back across the room. In that exchange, in that small, unhurried back and forth, something real moves between you. Researchers at the University of Sussex confirmed what cat owners had sensed for years. Cats are measurably more likely to approach, engage, and initiate contact with humans who slow blink at them. This isn't sentiment. This is the science of how trust actually travels between species. Watch for the moment your cat's eyes go half-lidded on their own, that soft, drowsy look that appears even when they're wide awake. That's your cat slow blinking you without being asked. They've been saying it this whole time. Now you know how to say it back. Number 6. Everything we've talked about so far has asked you to slow down, hold back, and create space. This one is completely different. When your cat stalks something across the room, pupils wide, body low, weight shifting quietly to their back legs, they are not playing. They are hunting, and their brain in that moment is running a sequence that evolution spent millions of years perfecting. Stalk, chase, catch, consume. 4 phases. Every single one essential. Skip the last one. End the session before the catch ever comes. And something is left genuinely unresolved in your cat's nervous system. Not dramatically. Not in a way they'll ever show you directly. But imagine a sneeze that never arrives. A song that cuts out one note before the ending. That incompleteness accumulates in restlessness, in anxiety, in the low-grade frustration that gets quietly labelled as a difficult personality. Most people don't realise they're the ones creating it. Here's where it goes wrong. The toy moving constantly. No pause, no tension, no moment of almost there. The cat overstimulates and then simply walks away, not bored, unsatisfied. Move like prey actually moves. Slow, then completely still, then a sudden dart, then frozen again. Let them crouch. Let them calculate. Let the anticipation build in their body before you give them the release. Watch the pupils go wide and dark. Watch the hindquarters begin that slow, subtle pre-pounce shift. Then let them catch it. Every session, every time. Let them hold it down and feel the full completion of what their body was built to do. Then, a small treat, protein-based, immediate. Hunt, catch, eat, the full loop, honoured. A cat whose instincts are genuinely met, whose nature is understood rather than just managed, doesn't only become calmer, they become yours in a way that goes deeper than affection. They trust you with the part of themselves most people never take the time to learn. Go back to the beginning of this for just a moment. Your cat, looking at you from across the room, running that quiet calculation you couldn't see. Safe or not safe? And you on the other side of it, not knowing the language, reaching out the only way you knew. Every reach, before they were ready, that was love. Every belly you touched, thinking it was an invitation, love. Every ritual you interrupted, without knowing it was happening, still love. Imperfect, mistranslated, but always love. What changes now isn't the feeling, it's the fluency. The pause before you reach. The stillness when they rub against you. The slow blink offered across a quiet room. The play session that finally ends with a catch, a treat, and a body at rest. Each one is a sentence in a language your cat has been hoping you would learn. And the moment they realize you're learning it, watch what happens to the distance between you. Watch how they choose the cushion beside yours. How they look at you, really look, and then slowly, softly close their eyes. That's not a cat just being a cat. That's trust given freely by a creature that gives nothing freely. You built that. Not with grand gestures or expensive things, with presence, with patience, with the willingness to finally meet them where they actually live. And once a cat decides you're safe, truly, deeply safe, they will choose you for the rest of their life. If something in this video shifted the way you see your cat, there's something worth knowing. Everything we covered today, the consent, the stillness, the slow blink, the completed hunt, these are your responses to signals your cat was already sending, which means they were sending them long before things felt easy. In the next video, we go earlier, to the signals that appear before the distance grows, before the pulling away. The subtle, fleeting cues that most owners miss not because they don't care, but because no one ever showed them what to look for. If you want to understand your cat at the level most people never reach, that's exactly where we're going next.